Welcome, traveler, to the Beautiful Sunday podcast, with special thanks to the Society of BS, where every tale hides a secret, every whisper leads to a wonder, and nothing is ever quite what it seems.
Each week, we gather around to share the strange, the spooky, and the stories that refuse to stay buried.
And I never know what you're about to tell me, and I'm pretty sure I'll regret finding out.
Good. Then you're in the right place.
This week, we get out the bulletin board and the red thread for a segment we like to call Mini Mysteries.
Tonight, we're attempting to untangle one of the world's strangest knots. So get your pens and paper, your critical eye, and try to keep your mind focused. This episode is called File 2, What's Come to Pass, the Dyatlov Mystery. Okay, I want you to imagine you're on a mountain in Siberia. It's 1959. All around you is a sea of white powdery foam. The air so cold and thick you can barely see 2 feet in front of you. Winds howling with every step you take. But you're on a mission. You're on a search party to find a group of hikers that went missing 21 days ago. That's when you find it. Destroyed and covered in snow is a tent. But the hikers aren't there, and when you examine the tent, it looks as if it was torn open from the inside. But where are the hikers? Your search party continues looking, and that's when you find the bodies. About a mile away, some of the hikers lay frozen in the snow, barefoot and in thin clothing. This search continues, but it wouldn't be until 2 months later when the rest of the hikers are found. Unfortunately, these hikers have also passed. So when autopsies are conducted, it's found that the later group of hikers died from severe internal injuries. And the first group of hikers died from hypothermia. But the strangest part of this mystery is 2 of the hikers were missing their eyes, and 1 was missing her tongue. And also, when the clothes were tested, results came back with positives for radioactive substances. Because all of their valuables were accounted for, and due to no external injuries, it was ruled that no crime had occurred. This is the mystery of what happened to the hikers who were found on the slope the Mansi people refer to as Dead Mountain.
Okay. There was a lot to unwrap there.
So have you ever heard of this case before?
No, I have not. This is the first time. So let me get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
There was this family, or I guess not family, we don't really know.
They're a group of hikers.
So
I think they're like students or just graduate students.
Okay, so this group of hikers, which reminds you again why I'm not an avid hiker. Okay, group of hikers in the middle of winter. Well,
it's not really that it's winter, but
it's Siberia.
They're in Russia.
Yeah, it's Siberia. So let's just put that out there. They decided to go hiking for whatever reason.
It was like a whole thing. Like they had planned it out. They were ready to go, and they were very experienced hikers.
Okay, so first group they found died of hypothermia,
right,
in thin clothing and barefoot.
Right.
Second group found further away,
right,
missing eyes.
2 of them were missing their eyes, and 1 of them was missing their tongue.
Oh.
There were 9 hikers total.
Okay.
So I believe there was 4 in the first group and 5 in the second group.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And there was no foul play because of whatever internal injuries they had?
Because there was no external injuries. It was ruled that there was no foul play.
What? Missing eyes and a missing tongue is not external injury? Okay. Remind me not to hire those guys for any future mysteries we need to uncover. Okay, so 2 groups, all dead, and don't forget the radioactive substances found on their clothes.
Yep, 2 of them had radioactive substances. So you would think there are a lot of theories that have been thrown out at this case. Anywhere from aliens to a Yeti to government cover-ups. But without any other explanation, what do you think happened? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, my mind goes straight to Stranger Things. If you haven't watched Stranger Things, I'm also not going to ruin it because it's still rather new. But if you have, then you know why I talk about Stranger Things. Just because of the snow. I think it sounds like some ungodly creature came and attacked the first group. My theory, first group went out to go find something or bring something back.
So they tore open their tent?
Oh, that's
You
interesting. I
forgot
that part
point.
of it. Oh, so they were running from something that was going after them. They might have been like ready for bed. Just imagine like getting ready for bed in your pajamas, because they said light clothing. I'm not going to sleep in all of these things. Or would I? Siberian mountains in the tent? I'm so confused. This story has me spinning.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people sat with this for many years. But there are some logical explanations to some of the things that they found.
You know me in logic. I don't go straight there.
Yes, so why don't we talk about some of those logical things, shall we? So, before we talk about the overall theory for what happened to these hikers, let's talk about some explanations.
Okay.
So the hikers that were found without their eyes, while at first glance this may seem ominous, the coroner ruled that this was because they were found in a creek and their and months of exposure, because remember, they weren't found till 2 months later, after the first group was found.
Oh, 2 months after the first group.
Yes, because they were buried under snow.
Okay.
So because they were on a creek and they were exposed to running water, the soft tissues in the eyes and like they were eroded away. Essentially, like when you're decomposing, the soft tissue is one of the first things to go.
Okay.
And the running water just kind of sped that process along.
That's understandable. That's why you never find skulls with eyes.
Right? Not to mention that the hiker that was missing her tongue, she was found face down in that creek. So that's a little bit of an explanation. So at first, seems kind of crazy, has a logical explanation, right? Now, the other thing, the radiation. Where did the radiation come from? Well, turns out there was a really bad nuclear accident that happened previously, and apparently it was like one of the top 3 worst nuclear reactions in the world.
Okay.
So one of the hikers actually worked at the place that it happened. And I guess some of them had also like volunteered with cleanup, and one of them lived in the contaminated area.
So that's a little bit more and I was going to say this is Russia.
Yes, so they were exposed to nuclear radiation.
Okay.
And that explains the radiation. So at first, again, seems like it'd be something that would be super crazy, but again, a very reasonable explanation, correct?
Okay, I'm back on.
So as much fun as it to speculate that maybe a radioactive yeti attacked them, we have, a most likely scenario.
Sure. But why were they separated?
Well, let's dive into the theory, shall we? So there is a picture of these hikers, and it is shown that they're basically digging a wall into the side of the mountain where they can pitch their tent.
Okay.
So it's a way to block the air from coming through, right? It's to keep it warmer. So they pitch and dig into this part of the snow. Okay, and what people speculate happened is while they were sleeping, either a special type of avalanche or something called a katabatic wind, which is essentially like hurricane type winds, came and knocked that wall of snow that they were behind onto their tent. So in that frenzy, like it moves their tent, it falls on top of them, and as experienced hikers, their brain goes, avalanche. An avalanche is coming. So they're like, we don't have time to get our gear, we don't have time to put everything on. They tear out of their tent and they run for the closest thing for protection, which in this case would have been trees. So they run out of the tent barefoot, just woke up, completely barefoot all the way to the trees, and while they're waiting there, and no avalanche happens, but now they're exposed to the elements, and it's really, really cold.
Yes, I can imagine.
There was evidence of a fire nearby, like they had tried to start a fire to keep themselves warm, but that wasn't like good enough in these conditions. So it's said that 2 of them that were found by that tree succumbed to their hypothermia right then and there. 2 of them, it appeared like they were walking back to the tent to try to go get their supplies. And then it's speculated that the rest of the 5 survived longer. So they essentially took some of the clothing off of the other ones, and they went further away to try to find a place where they could build like a makeshift snow hut, which is essentially they kind of like an igloo
Mm-hmm.
They build it and then they can go inside of it, right?
Right.
But they built it on top of that creek we talked about earlier. So what ended up happening is as they were digging down, essentially it collapsed in on them. And I know like people tend to think of snow as this soft billowy substance. It's not.
No.
It's frozen water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they think they got those internal injuries from, is this when this thing collapsed, it essentially crushed them. So and remember, they were found under the snow, those hikers.
All of them.
Right.
Right.
So
now I'm not a doctor or a scientist by any means, but how like I really wonder how fast, in what like degree of cold do you die of hypothermia? Like how fast? Because if that snow hit them, I would assume they woke up immediately, tried to get out of the tent.
If they're buried under snow though, like how do you get out? You know what I mean? Like you could be like, it's heavy.
Well, and I think because they got out, because they were, how did it say how far they were found away from their tents?
Like a mile away.
Okay, so they did get out, but think about if they died of hypothermia, now it's going to continue to snow.
Well, yeah, and they're barefoot.
Yeah.
They have none of their like comfy, warm clothing. So the way they're going to die from hypothermia is going to be a lot faster than somebody who's wearing a jacket.
Correct. Oh, I'm cold just thinking about that.
And it's getting cold right now,
and it's
so
getting
you can start
colder.
to feel it. But essentially, that's where we're at with the theories. That's what we think, happened. That's the most recent study was in 2019, and that's kind of what they uncovered. They kind of recreated this tent scenario, and it's essentially the explanation that people have right now. Obviously, some people still want to believe the crazier ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings us to our game.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was going to say my heart feels a little bit happier knowing all of these scientific facts.
Right, because when you hear something crazy as like eyes missing, tongue missing, like radioactive, like, ugh. And can you imagine, like, you're on a hike with your friends and then like one day you're just, on this hike, and then the next day you're like part of a year-long mystery and people are talking about you 4 years later.
Yeah. But you're dead.
So, time for a little game.
All right. Bring it on.
So what we're going to do is we're going to spin a wheel. On this wheel are some of the crazier theories that people have come up with for this incident, right?
Okay.
So you're going to get a scenario, I'm going to get a scenario. We're both going to argue why our scenario happened. And then our listeners on our Instagram can vote on who argued their theory better.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Your topic is... Oh, fun. You got the Yeti.
Oh. Yay.
You want to go ahead? We'll put a minute on the clock.
Okay.
And go.
A Yeti. Okay, so I have to explain how a Yeti caused this whole issue. Well, of course, they're in Russia, and so of course they're running some tests, particularly the radioactive tests, these nuclear scientific projects, because, well, they're in a race with the US, and it wasn't really a Yeti to start out with, it was actually a gorilla. And so they're trying to test the effects of what these radioactive waves would do to this animal, which in turn created this Yeti. Now, unfortunately, it did escape with its Yeti strength, and for the hikers that go in that area, they were close to where this testing was, and it would happen to be the day that the Yeti escaped. And, well, first off, attacked them in their tent, right? So went after them in their tent. That's why the tent is destroyed, chased all the other ones out, and while getting away, they all died of hypothermia.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, not bad. I like the idea that it was a gorilla they tested on, hence the nuclear radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what I get. I got... Oh, fun. I got aliens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so this is my thought, is they're in their tent and they hear noises, right? They see this beam of light that encompasses their tent, and they're like, what is this light? Where is it coming from? So without thinking, they cut open their tent, they jump out, and they see this UFO above them shining this light down. right? And they run out and they go try to hide behind the trees to get away from this alien, and it's chasing them in the middle of the cold, dark night. So they go out into the snow, they're hiding behind the trees, and of course it's really cold, so the ones that are there, they die from hypothermia, right? And the other two are like, hey, I'm gonna go fight this alien, you guys go ahead. So the other two go back to try to fight the aliens, but the other five are like, no, we're gonna buckle down, we're gonna try to hide from this thing. They build their snow hut, they hiding, and that's, that's where they're found. Ultimately got collapsed regardless, and the radiation is from whatever beam of light those aliens shine down on them.
That's a good one too. I feel like mine seems a little bit more believable and realistic because of the place they are at. But
Where did they get a gorilla?
It's Russia.
Do Russia's
Aren't
does
they
Russia
nearby?
have gorillas?
Let's see. Where are gorillas from? Probably nearby. You know how easy it is to just ship a gorilla over to Russia?
Tell me, how easy is it to ship a gorilla?
Oh, yeah. Let me just make a call. I got a guy.
You got a guy who can ship a gorilla. Okay. Well, is that case closed, or just another clue waiting for the next file?
If you've got theories or secrets of your own, send them to us on Instagram at Society of BS, or tag #Society of BS, or #mini mysteries so that others can find you. Thanks for joining us here at the Beautiful Sunday Podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Seleena.
This is another tale for the archives. Heart open, mind odd, sun high.
And if you're still hearing whispers after the credits, maybe you were meant to.